The Time Crisis FCC verdict is in. Cabinets behind a paywall. And what do you think about an Arcade1up Pulse? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in the home arcade world. Home arcade dimension, the universe. Home arcades in general, or just whatever the hell we want to talk about on this show right now. What is going on, everybody? I hope you had a great week. I hope your weekend went smooth. I got a lot of stuff accomplished this weekend. The biggest thing is that the upstairs bathroom is painted. I know nobody cared about that, but we moved in. As most of you know, moved into a new house this April, and it's been pretty much nonstop craziness, along with my arcade that is currently under construction, nearing completion. Absolutely getting closer every single day. There's also been other things going on in the house. I've told the story, the pastel problem. I don't know what happened. This house is about 19 years old, and the first owner, I guess, got bored after a while and decided, you know what? We really love Easter a lot. So they decided to go ahead and paint rooms pink and purple and green, all pastel shades of said colors. Only one blue, which was the only one that I thought was acceptable. And then the dining room was two different shades of yellow. Oh my God. So as this has been going on, I got the upstairs bathroom painted. That was the last bathroom to be painted. The last room that really needed to be painted, with the exception of the master bathroom. It's kind of a whole nother, maybe that'll be a live stream one day. So I got that done. I know everybody at home has little projects they're trying to get done. So it was nice to have that wrapped up and completed. And so I can focus more on the arcade, which is really, really, really close. Big milestone, big thing I can check off the list. The carpet is paid for. Waiting for it to be delivered to the installer, who would then give me a call to schedule a time to install. We're ready. We're ready for carpet. Very few things needed to be checked off the arcade build list. The floor, there were a few cracks that had a seal, so that is sealed and nearly cured. So probably by the end of tomorrow, it should be 100% cured. So all that'll be done. You've seen, if you've watched some of my shorts and if you follow me on Instagram, the grid for the drop ceiling is done. Lights are in place. I did a test. I uploaded a short video. Check that out. One of my latest short was the testing of half of the black lights, and they did a phenomenal job. So when I get the other two, it's going to be probably too much, but still, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm glad that got done. So yeah, we're ready. Just a few little things to do, just kind of cosmetic stuff. Really got to trim out the main window there. And some electrical has to be done, just testing the lights, but that's pretty much, that's really no big deal. Just a matter of testing them in place, seeing if they work out where I've got them. And then the great thing about a grid is if I don't like that, I can just move them over a grid, one square here, there, everywhere, and then get that placement exactly where I want it. But for the most part, I mean, we're getting really, really close. But once the carpet goes down, the arcades begin to make their way inside. And I've done a preliminary measurement, a preliminary count, and I've got room for many more full size, and just maybe some XLs if Arcade1up happens to produce them in the future. What am I drinking tonight? We're still with the Jim Beam single barrel. This is the cheap stuff, but it's not bad. It's not bad. If you got $20 you want to spend on something worth sipping on ice, this is not bad. So definitely the Jim Beam single barrel, if you can find it. It's a great way to get started on your road to bourbon snobbery. It's a prestigious road. Yeah, make a big deal about something that most people just want to get drunk on. So, not too shabby. Also, this week I had a pretty fun time going on some different channels. I got to stop by the Cornercade last week. I can't remember what day that was. Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember, one of those days. Head on over to the Cornercade channel and check out his channel. And we did 2 hours. I think we spent talking about pretty much everything. Everything Arcade1up related, home arcades in general. And then Friday night, after the Super Game Room dudes, I was able to hang out with Gotham City Arcade. And we talked for another 2 hours. And that was some pretty good. He asked some hard-hitting questions. And it was actually pretty good. We got to be pretty honest and kind of open the door, maybe peel the curtain back a little bit on some of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. So that was a great conversation. If you want to check that out, head on over to Gotham City Arcade's channel and check that out. That was a live stream from this Friday. So there were a few audio issues in the very beginning, but don't worry, that doesn't persist. That was just some setup issues that he and I had to work through. And then once we got that going, it was a great time. So we had a really good time. So check out those two channels if you want to see an interview with this goofball. But it was a great time. I had fun. Thanks so much to Danny over the Cornercade and then Gotham for having me over, man. I really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. So we talked about what's in the glass. What's in the poll? There's a poll question. What's in the chat? Not what's in the poll. That's a whole nother show. What's in the chat? We're talking about the poll question. That's right. Every week on the This Week Show, episode 121, by the way, we have a poll question. So if you jump on over in the chat, you're going to see this week's question is a pretty simple question, I believe. For those of you who maybe aren't 100% knowledgeable with the whole direct-to-consumer initiative, don't worry. We're going to go into detail tonight. So if you don't know exactly what it is or what we're talking about, just wait. We'll cover that, and then you can go back and vote on the poll. But I definitely want everybody to chime in because this is something that can really speak to, I think, every single person who is in this home arcade space. Every single person should contribute to this poll. Jump in. Let me know what you think because I think this is a big thing that we've seen other companies do that could really, really satisfy, I think, a lot of the hardcore fans and bring some new products out there to maybe entice some of the newer consumers, newer fans of the home arcade space. So the question is simply this: would you be interested in a direct-to-consumer program from Arcade1up? They really haven't done this yet, with the exception of, I guess maybe you could consider Killer Instinct Pro as a direct-to-consumer type thing. It was sold exclusively on their website, limited to 500 pieces. So I guess that was their first attempt. But I don't really think that's exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not, once again, if you're not sure exactly what we're talking about, don't worry. I'm going to go into a little more detail later on in the show. But you have two options, yes or no. Yes, give us what we want, and no, Arcade1up, but find a way to screw it up. So let me know what you think about that. Is that something you're interested in or not really? Could do without it. But let me know. 71 votes so far. Everybody jump in there and let your voice be heard. I think it's something that could really scratch a lot of itches out there, satisfy a lot of desires from a bunch of arcade enthusiasts that maybe just want something really, really specific. And it could also break your heart when you find out that nobody else wants the thing that you want. But still, it would be a way to at least try to placate or please some of those fans. Okay, so you know what's in my drink. You know what happened on my weekend. We talked about the poll question. Let's say hi to people in the chat. The number one, the first one up in the slot today is going to be Beach Native 78, 11:43 a.m. Congratulations. I don't think I even had much time to, I don't know, this didn't even make it to Twitter yet. I'm sorry, X. It did not make it to X yet, and you had already posted. So Beach Native 78, you're number one. What is up, Foxy and chat? Can't wait for tonight's show. Let's go. Smash that like button. Share, folks. Fox has got some great stuff. 19K Fox Nation. Hashtag 19K Fox Nation. I see what you did there. I like it. Appreciate it. Jason Little Lady is in the house saying, looking forward to tonight's show, Fox. Hope you had a killer weekend. I did. I got a lot of stuff done, actually, and managed to get in those fresh air. Remember, stop having fun. That's right. You're damn right. Stop with all this fun having. It's ridiculous. We shall not enjoy ourselves. Rice Retro K is in the house also saying, evening, Fox. Black lights look awesome. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, man, for checking out the short video. Are you going to get a custom sign of your logo or put up as well? Hopefully can catch you live. If not, have a good one. Yeah, I want to do something. I want to either do a 19K Fox sign. I got the hats. I got the t-shirt. Should I have the sign in the arcade? Maybe. I've also been thinking about going with a specific name for the arcade and going that route. Nothing's going to be on the outside. I want this to look like, if you're downstairs, I want you to be enjoying yourself and not really know what's behind this plain looking door, just sort of, nondescript. Oh, it's just another white door in your house. But when you open it up, it's like Monsters Inc. It's like a whole new world. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to think about that for sure. Console Kits is in the house. Justin, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. You passed on Time Crisis. Congratulations. You might be righter than you think. Bo Pete 64. How you doing, buddy? Fox, my Walmart has Blitz on sale for $3.99, but have seen others say they can get at Walmart for $1.99, but not in my area. Any ideas how I can get Blitz for $1.99 other than waiting for the price to drop? You can go to walmart.com and you can try putting in different zip codes. Have somebody, if they say that they can get them in store, usually that price isn't going to be on the website. So if you try to change the zip code to try to find a different area, try to find a different Walmart and see what they have in stock, they don't always show the clearance pricing. They'll show just standard pricing. and you can get that. Now, I have seen $3.99 in store myself in different areas around the country, different parts. Usually, I think up north is where I will see them in Walmart for $3.99. That's going to be in store. That's going to be a clearance price, not always on the website. $1.99 has happened. I don't know if that's actually happened in an advertised way on Walmart. I know that you could put your best bet for $1.99 is try to hit an Ollie's, which is like an outlet store. And I know it's in the South. I know we have them here in Kentucky, the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. We have them here. You have a chance to do that way, but it's $1.99 is going to be tough to find. So try, if you want to do it the website way, put in different zip codes and see what you can find. But more than likely, if you just want to get it and be done with it, you might be stuck paying the $3.99. I know it would be nice to save an additional $200, but unless you know a guy who knows a guy, it's going to be tough to find for sure. So sorry, unfortunately, there's no hack that I know of, to make that happen. Homer 1075's in the house. Gen X, stand up. Exactly. Or sit down if your back hurts because we're old. It's an old joke. Not funny. Gotham City Arcade, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for having me on your show this week. Hey, Battle. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting my content last Saturday. No problem, buddy. Absolutely. When you come to the Time Crisis Cab, is there no sale for you? No sale for it on Black Friday. Retailers need to take a deep look if Arcade1up is a good business. I think that as much as I would like to see some kind of Black Friday pricing for this cabinet, I'm not sure if it's going to happen. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about the cabinet a little bit more in detail tonight, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. It is a month and a half away, well, no, I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's less than a month and a half away. Today's the 12th. It's not even now. We're about a month away from what would be or what will be Black Friday. I don't know, $50, $100, maybe. I don't know. I just think it's kind of a niche product at this point. Only available at /2 places. We'll talk about the second place. You can find Time Crisis, or you could have found Time Crisis later on tonight for sure. But yeah, absolutely. Listen, great advice. Okay, yeah, smash the like button, everybody. Support the fight. Absolutely. Support the Fox Nation. I do appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Video Game Vegas in house. Happy Sunday, Fox and friends. Hope Labyrinth and Elton John pins come to VPN at Games 4KP. A man can dream. You might not be farther off than you think. With Who's the Boss hit, with Who's the Boss hit, Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. I mean, Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer. That's right. That's right. Not Tony Danza. Although that may be, listen, it is what it is. Giving Elton John's proclivities, perhaps he and Tony had a romance. I don't know if Tony would have been down with that for sure. Game Room Gurus in the house saying, I bought a Costco membership just to see one, even though I had no intention of getting it. While there, I found that Costco has discounted whiskey and some pretty great grocery deals. Absolutely, for sure. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. The Corner Cage is in the house saying, guys, let's go. And then he punched the screen for some reason. I don't know why he did that. Thanks so for being here, Danny. I appreciate it. JJ is in the house. Even 19K Fox, looking forward to the stream/show. And was wondering if you have any home arcade news for us. I do. I have some news for you. Some home arcade news. You come to the right place, JJ. Strap in, grab something to drink, you can have a ball. I hope. Shannon's on. Hey, Fox, awaiting the verdict. Time Crisis. Looking forward to your stream as always. Your black light looks awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And you as always, you are a top tier host awaiting your weekly wisdom. Well, thank you. The wisdom, I hope it's going to be forthcoming. Sometimes I just spitball it. I really don't even know what I'm saying half the time. A Trend Fanatics in the house. Hey, Fox and people. I scored on the T2 at Best Buy for $315. Congratulations. And listen, if you're not aware, I think I've done this. I've said this before. Go to your Best Buy. It's similar to Walmart. You'll find some in-store deals that they just absolutely will not advertise on their website. I was out in San Diego, California a couple months ago, and I saw they had T2 was out there for $315, but they also had Golden TXL for $399, I believe is what it was, or maybe $350. So listen, it does pay to get off the couch and get out from in front of the TV screen, the computer screen, get offline for a second and actually go into these places and see, hey, you never know. When I travel, I always go to the Walmarts for sure. Sometimes the Best Buys, they tend to have, horrible hours. But I'll go to the Walmarts to see what they have in stock. If you're hunting for that specific cab that's still out there and available, you might get lucky. We moved to the new building and property at work, getting moved in and situated. See ya. Awesome, man. Good to hear from you. And I'm glad work is going well. Soul Red is in the house. My Time Crisis is arriving from Walmart tomorrow, and I'm super excited. Congratulations. And you kind of spoiled one of the topics tonight. Well, not really. Not really. Carlos Sanchez, let's talk arcade, brother. Love your show. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate the support as always. Dan Z is in the house at 19K Fox. Hi. Dan, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Great to see you again. Kevin Clausen's in the house. Somebody better. Super chat. I'm not going to the pit this week. Hi, Fox. Classy as always. Well, thank you, sir. I like to stay classy as much as I can, but nothing is quite as classy as a super chat. This one comes to us from Kevin Clausen, but never as classy as a super chat to say thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for super chatting, as always. And I know that, normally I like to give people what they want. And I know you said this isn't what you want, but sometimes we say no when we really mean yes.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
So sad, but I'm sure he'll walk that off. Kevin Clausen is a young, strapping man, and I'm sure he can survive a 40-foot fall onto concrete. Saiyan Spirits is in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Direct-to-consumer is a double-edged sword. That means less killer bargains through retailers. Careful what you wish for. Well, that's true. But life is a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's a yin and yang. Sometimes you ask for something knowing that there may be a consequence. But you know what you can get that has no consequences at all? A super chat. This one comes to us from Carlos Sanchez. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Big supporter. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I've already sold 3 of my Arcade1ups in preparation for XL and Deluxes coming out. For my Virginian gamers, let me slow down. For my Virginian gamers, Costco located at Norfolk should have the Pac-Man XL after the 25th of this month. Thank you so much for communicating with the community. See what I did there? And yeah, so if you're in Virginia, the Norfolk area, if you've been waiting to get your hands on a Pac-Man XL at the local Costco, you should have one after the 25th of the month. Thank you so much for your anticipation for the XL line. Now, hopefully you and I can revel in our spoils next year. But until then, we're going to have to wait. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. It helps me wait. I do appreciate it. You're going to get what you deserve. Maybe not what you asked for. Here you go.
All right, Justin. Shirts versus skins. Let's go.
Such classic. And another $5 is going to go to those guys. Do what I can. Do what I can. Galley Guy 88. Hello, Fox. Rum and Coke tonight. I would say no direct-to-consumer with the latest news about the Street Fighter Deluxe Knight Rider nose. I love that. I'm going to actually buy one and just cut a little slit in it and put a scanner in there. And just it's going to love it. Bobby Vu just made a Knight Rider cabinet. Bobby Vu needs to take this and do it upright and turn that into a legit Knight Rider front nose. I would love it. I wouldn't buy it, but I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. With the latest news from the Street Fighter Deluxe Knight Rider nose being flimsy, cheap, I feel like I can't trust him anymore. Last straw. He's had it. He's had enough. G.I. Joel's in the house, buddy. Hell, man, good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bob, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. And best of luck with those crazy kids. Keeping that all going on. Keeping that contained. It's almost too much for one man to bear, but I think you can bear it. Insane is in the house. Not in the membrane, but just insane in general. Howdy, Fox. Odd one tonight. Dr. Pepper and Fireball. Listen, this is a no judgment zone. Drink what you like. And actually, Fireball and Dr. Pepper, that could be a hit. Absolutely. Sounds kind of like a Christmas drink in some way. I don't know why. I just made it up. But it sounds pretty good. Pretty decent. Marvel Pinball came in too. Nice. So far, so good. Slight feedback issue with the audio, but I fixed it up. Nice. Good to hear from you, man. Good to hear indeed. Midlife Arcade is in the house. Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Andy's Arcade. Evening, everyone. MSU Rich. What's going on? How you doing? Good evening, everyone. Walter Hepner. 2024 is a make or break for Arcade1up. I couldn't agree more. Actually, couldn't agree more. The doctor's in the house. How you doing? Jeff W. What is going on, buddy? Have a great show, sir. Best arcade show. Opening the wine. Enjoy and partake of as much as you can. But you're a doctor, so you're fine. You're fine. I know you. I'm sure you know what's going on. Red Kryptonite Tea. Kryptonian. Yeah? Sounds good. I messed that up. I'm sorry. I do apologize. But thank you for being here. Shitty weekend, Fox. My Oilers are struggling, and number 97 is out for weeks with an injury. I need a drink. Drink it up, buddy. Drink it up. That's what it's there for. To numb the pain, to ease your suffering. Deadly McMahon? Mike is in the house. Howdy, everyone. Good to see you. But the power of Great Skull. I'm glad you're here. Cobretti Kai is in the house. The cheap stuff is my life's blood. Hey, listen, you can't put a price on bourbon. Well, you can put a price. Yeah, I'll think of something later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Snowdub's in the house, dispensing with the great knowledge. Once again, smash the like button. It's the right thing to do. It's the best thing to do. It's almost as good as a super chat. Coming from a great longtime supporter of the channel, Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, swinging big with $9.99. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, brother. Always great to see you in the house, supporting like always. What's up, brother? How are you? Excited to see your arcade done. I was at the Pinball Expo. I saw that. I saw your daughter having a good time too this weekend, and I have to admit it, I fell in love with pinball. No virtual pin though. Got that. Get that out of here. Haha. Cheers. I sent you an email. Let me know. I sent that email to you. Check your email. Reply back to me. Let me know what I can do to fix a little bit of a problem that I had with the file I can't find. Damn it. Answer your email. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and for your super chat. And as always, we got to give you something a little bit special. And you know what? You know what you're getting. Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
Okay, so we got to do a run through here. Donovan Klingle's in the house. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Angelo P, great to see you as always. Tony C is up in the house. Paul Mindaman. There was a debate going on another channel on how to say your name. Someone was inserting an R that shouldn't be there. Don't blame him. He's just Canadian. This is the weirdest Super Game Room Dudes episode I've ever seen. It's just me. And I'm not super. But I'm also not a dudes. So there's that too. Yeah, saying hi to everybody. Did I miss anybody? I want to at least throw a little love everybody's way. Kongs R Us is here. Hiya, Fox in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Can we see you again, B? When's our next trip, dude? I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like I'm lost without planning for an additional trip down the road somewhere. We have Dre Gotts in the house. Hi, Fox. Good to see you. We got RWX Studio. Hey, Kongs. Hi, Fox. Kongs always gets top billing. Damn it. I can't believe it. David G's in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Scrolling down. Quentin. Quentin. I'm horrible with English or Spanish or really any language. It's really bad. It's a learning disability. I'm working on it. Hi, all. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it. The bad guy, Mike. I don't know at this point. You've chosen this lifestyle, this bad lifestyle. You're there and you're going to stay there until you decide to embrace the good. Tammy G, Miss G is in the house. Good to see you. 19K Fox, get your mind out of the gutter. Can't do it. It's surgically implanted there. It is what it is. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It is what it is. James, why? Not everything's bad. Not everything is deserving of thine hatred. Some of the things are deserving of your love, of your patience, of your kind, generous understanding. Just like a super chat or super sticker. This one comes to us from David G, and it's a star. But it's not a star for me. It's a star for David. David, you're the star. And guess what? You're going to get one. I'm going to give you some a little bit. What the hell? You deserve it. Let's go cruising. The aliens at the end. Gets me every time. Stock Jock is here. Good evening, Mr. Fox. Looking forward to another great show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Always a pleasure to have everybody here because it would be really weird if I was by myself. Not that I haven't been by myself before. Single tear rolls down my cheek. Okay, let's go ahead. So we talked about the poll question. We talked about what's in my glass. What am I drinking? What are you drinking? Said hi to most of the chat, most of the poll. Let's go ahead and move into the first topic. A paywall. Something we're not really happy with. No one likes to see a paywall. Some walls are great. Some people like walls. Some people hate walls. But I think we can all agree that this wall is the worst wall to see or to be confronted with. What am I talking about? I'm talking about cabinets being behind a paywall, Arcade1up specifically. But give it time. I'm sure other companies will do this. It's kind of a way to, I say get more money, but it's not always the quick fix that they're looking for. If this is even considered to be a quick fix, I'm not exactly sure, why they do this, to be perfectly honest with you. What am I talking about? Well, let's talk about the latest example of this. Pretty, well-trafficked, well-covered story at this point, and it was the fourth XL cabinet, the first one to have the BOE monitors. It was the predictable Pac-Man, but I think a lot of people, for the most part, enjoyed this cabinet. I have a review forthcoming. I promise it's going to happen eventually someday, maybe. I always put a maybe on there just to get myself out of a sticky situation. But this is the XL cabinet, and a lot of people were actually looking forward to this because it looked more like what we perceive an XL cabinet to actually be, what it should be. But it's stuck behind a paywall. Now, what do you mean? I'm not saying you got to you have to download some DLC or something like that, or some kind of weird hoop you have to jump through, other than having a Costco membership. Now, in the past, this has not necessarily been an issue for the most part. I mean, you always had some exclusives here and there with these different companies or with these different retailers. They would have an exclusive. They would have a specific version of something, but it wasn't limited to that one location to purchase. The one thing that comes to mind is going to be like your Sam's Club, right? Now, I'm specifically talking about places that have memberships. You have to have a membership. You're required to be a member, a paid member of this retailer to have access to any of these products. But one of the other things that kind of comes to mind, the special sort of edition, was the NBA Jam. Now, NBA Jam cabinet, still to this day, I can't believe this is the one that has had a bazillion different variants, but it has. And if you're an NBA Jam cabinet, or if you're an NBA Jam fan and you like what Arcade1up did with the ROM, you're probably loving it because you got everything possible. Any way to skin this cat has been done. But I was thinking about this version of NBA Jam when I was researching for this topic. Sam's had this. Now, you could only get this at Sam's. And this had the light up buttons. It had not the lit deck protector. The lit deck protector version was at Best Buy. But this had the light up buttons, and it had the stool that had a different pad on it. Everything else is pretty standard. You got the lit marking and everything, but it had this gray trim all the way around it. I'm not sure why they went with gray, or gray or silver. I think it's gray. I'm not sure why they did that, but they did that. And it was for $449. So it was a little bit higher price point than your standard. I think $399 was the standard pricing of this cabinet when it came out without a stool. But this was a version. This was a variant, like a variant cover. We talked about this in I use the analogy of comics a lot, where you can just go and you can buy the first issue of a comic and you can read the comic and enjoy the comic. But there were also comics that had variants. And you could pay extra if you wanted to get this variant, but you didn't have to. It wasn't required reading. Neither was your ability to get a hold of this cabinet itself. Now, this version, you had to go to Sam's. You had to be a member of Sam's Club. And then later you can see the image on the right showed that they later offered this for $300. So that price did fall down to a much more reasonable $300, because I think that basically there was some oversaturation with the NBA Jam cabinet. Once again, I can't believe they did it that many times. That's what she said. But it's one of those things that it was a version of, but it wasn't the only way you could get your hands on an NBA Jam cabinet. You had multiple ways to get an NBA Jam cabinet. You could get a standard version. You could get one with a stool. You can go to Best Buy and you can get the lit deck protector. And the thing about these other retailers that you didn't have to be a member. There was no requirement to have access to these cabinets. You didn't have to do that. The latest version that really, and this is pretty much, with the exception of, like I said, the Killer Instinct Pro being not really behind a paywall, but exclusive to just Arcade1up. The only way to get this as of today is you got to be a member of Costco. You got to know a guy, you got to know a girl, you got to know somebody that can get you in the door, sneak you in the back, whatever, and allow you to get in there and buy one. And that's just kind of, it's, at first you think, well, we're talking about this cabinet specifically. Okay, it's Pac-Man. Who cares? It's Pac-Man. There's 500 million different ways to get a Pac-Man cabinet. And that is true. But this is not a variant or a version of an existing cabinet. This is an XL cabinet. This is the only Pac-Man XL cabinet out there. Now, if this was just a skin, If this came with a stool and you could go to a regular Walmart, you could go to some other place and get just the cabinet, that would be one thing. But I have an issue with this because, maybe for a period of time this happens, sure. But for this to be out for a month now or more at this point, I think we could actually be beyond, but we could go I think we're actually out a little bit more than a month, right? We're still stuck at Costco. Only people with Costco memberships can get their hands on one. Now, maybe, like I said, maybe Pac-Man, who cares? There's a million Pac-Man games out there. They just came out with the deluxe, which is basically the same cabinet, except it's just a little bit smaller. But what happens if your favorite cab comes out and it's stuck behind some kind of weird paywall or stuck at a weird retailer, some obscure retailer that you don't even want to shop with, you don't feel comfortable with? That becomes kind of an issue, becomes kind of a problem. It's a limiting factor. But the paywall is really something that I have a really big problem with. If you're only going to allow, if the only way to get this cabinet is to go through this retailer. Now, maybe if you dropped the price or something, to try to compensate the average consumer from having to, I guess, buy a membership for a month and then cancel the membership for a month. I don't know. But to me, it just seems like a weird kind of tactic to take when you could just have a standard version of the cab and then offer a different version to Costco members. Now, in the example we have here, this has LED buttons. Okay, fine. Then have the one at Walmart or Best Buy just have regular buttons. There you go. There's a little bit of a distinction, a little bit of a change. I mean, think about that. That's actually a lot going on there. You have to have a different encoder board, and you have to have obviously different buttons and more wires and all that. So it's it's kind of an upsell, and you sell it it's $629 or $599, which would really drive the point home. Well, maybe you could get this thing for actually cheaper, for everybody else. The average people not wanting the buttons, maybe we could have got that for like, $550, $549. I don't know. So I don't like this. I don't like this practice. I don't like that. And seeing this moving forward is not something I want. I don't want to see this at all. I don't want to see this happen again, because while Pac-Man may not be that big of a deal, it is an issue for me when you require someone to have some kind of a membership, or you require something financially for us to even have access to the cabinet at all, a single variant cabinet. Now, if there was another cabinet that comes out exactly the same, slightly different maybe, but it's available somewhere else, fine. And I don't even have a problem if you offer the same cabinet at the Costco for a little bit cheaper price. That's okay. That's fine. But to limit the availability to a membership requiring establishment or retailer, to me, it's no way. It doesn't it doesn't inspire long-term success, especially when you're talking about especially when you're talking about a year that really had not a lot of new products, not a lot of new releases. And as far as new titles, we were limited to just 2. But XL is a form factor that I think a lot of people were pumped up about, excited about, anxious and curious to get their hands on and check out. And to limit its reach, it hurts the company. It hurts Arcade1up, but also hurts the consumers that were trying to get their hands on one. Maybe they were like, listen, I bought a Pac-Man 4 years ago, and I'm never going to buy another one until I see it in, I don't know, an XL form factor. And then it comes out, and they're like, great, but I don't have a Costco membership. Now I got to go know somebody. Now I got to go find somebody. And worse yet, what if ain't no Costco near me? So what about the reach of the product, making it available to most people? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But there's another way to look at this besides, I think, the very easy, the very clear line of being a paywall like Costco is being locked into a retailer that is really weird, that is obscure, that not a lot of us are even familiar with. And I'm talking about Shop Hippo, Time Crisis and Shop Hippo being this weird exclusive collaboration, for lack of a better term. It seems odd to me when you're talking about not just, like I said, once again, not just a variant. Shop Hippo could have their own variant. Shop Hippo could have a cabinet with a stool, and you can only get this combination of Shop Hippo. That's fine. But to have the only way to get your hands on this very highly, probably the most anticipated, because we've known about it for so long, cabinet, Time Crisis, being locked in with Shop Hippo is really odd to me. There's a couple different reasons why it's odd. First off, it's a retailer that, is not exclusive, or they don't have any like stores. They don't have a long history of, that you have to sort of build a trust with your customers, because if I'm going to buy something online, you have to have that, that trust factor. It is 2023. I know that. I know a lot of people just buy online, but how many times do you buy something that's $750 from shady company number 4? And I don't mean to disparage Shop Hippo. They may be a fine company, but besides Arcade1up, I've never heard of them before. I've never had any experience with them. So to deal directly with something so obscure as Shop Hippo is a little bit off-putting. And I always like to put myself in the shoes of a brand new consumer, somebody just coming into Arcade1up. Maybe they're finally seeing these deluxe cabinets. Like, wow, what's going on here? Maybe Time Crisis is something they've really been waiting for. And you get this and you see this saying, but it's only available at Shop Hippo. Well, I'm sorry, but the name just sounds janky. It doesn't sound legit. Not speaking directly to them. I'm sure they're a fine place. I think a lot of people have gotten their cabs from Shop Hippo and they've been nothing but satisfied, and that's great. But I'm just talking about a new consumer coming in. It's odd that it's limited to Shop Hippo. At least have it available on your website. But as you can see, this is I screen grabbed this today. Only available at Shop Hippo. I say only, well, looks like they actually sold some of their inventory. So what happens is I think they're the same company that owns the As Seen on TV stuff, owns Shop Hippo. And it looks like they allocated some of their inventory to Walmart. So if you look at this, it was actually available at Walmart for a time this weekend. This was actually highlighted on Cornercade show. He had Travis on, and Travis spoke on this a little bit. Travis, I don't know why he was so condescending. He was just like, you could tell Travis was incredibly annoyed explaining this process. And I don't know why. It seems fairly straightforward, but maybe he's been getting this question a whole hell of a lot, but he was just like, he was just dogging anybody that even didn't understand this. He was saying, for those of you that can't put 1 and 1 together, I'm like, damn, Travis, relax. Travis was having a bad day. But in any event, it is pretty straightforward. Yeah, this isn't just sold by Walmart. Those of you that have been on Walmart, if you've been involved in Arcade1up for a while and you know what's sold on Walmart, it's not always from Walmart proper. It's from these other companies. And it looks like some of their stock, some of the Shop Hippo stock made its way to Walmart. And the same point that Travis made is, hey, if you're trying to sell a lot of cabinets and you know that Shop Hippo, the name is kind of a barrier of entry, you'll take some of your stock, your inventory, and you'll push it to Walmart, a much more reputable place. A lot of people will just buy from Walmart. And that's great because that opens up some different payment options. And this is the next point that I want to bring. If you're locking yourself into a obscure retailer, so besides Costco and the paywall of having to have a membership, you also have to consider that other legitimate mainstream big retailers also have another benefit, and that is some of these built-in rewards programs. Now, it's not just, back in the day, let's rewind the clock. Let's go back. We're all in our 40s-ish, late 30s, 50s, 60s, some of you. Back in the day, mom, grandma, everybody would give you money for Christmas, for birthdays, whatever. And if you were a smart kid, not like me, because I spent it almost instantly. But if you were a smart kid, like my sister would save her money. And you could save your money. You could use it towards, whatever, so you save your money and you go and you spend it wherever. You go to the gas station and you get things like candy, cigarettes. It's what we had. It's what we did back in the day. But nowadays, a lot of Christmases involve gift cards. And, my wife's grandmother, before she passed, God rest her soul, that was the way that she would shop for us. She didn't really know what we wanted. We were all adults, so she would do a lot of gift card purchases and give those out at Christmas. And so what I would do is I would keep some of that stuff and then use it towards, Arcade1up purchases. I travel a lot for work. And so some of my rewards that I get for traveling is with some of these hotel chains. And you can redeem some of these rewards for gift cards. Now, it's not like you just go to your app and open it up and boom, next day the gift card's in the mail. It's a process. They have to go through, they have to make sure you have the points and blah, blah, blah. And there's a guy, he's a very old guy, and he has to pull a lever. And then he has to pick up a rock and hit another rock together 12 times. And then they actually make the gift card from granite. And they use lasers. Anyway, my point is it takes forever to get the actual gift card. So what I would do is I would plan, looking out, okay, Arcade1up's going to come out with this, this, and this. I'm going to go ahead and redeem some of those rewards. I'm going to go ahead and get some Best Buy gift cards. I've said this before on other shows, maybe on this show too. I like to get a couple, I save hotel points for vacation, stuff like that too, but I also get a couple gift cards just so I can knock a couple, maybe $100 off of this one, maybe $100 off that cab. Just something to kind of ease the pain, because I don't get cabs for free. I'm not complaining. It's just the reality. You don't get cabs for free. So anything you can do to kind of save a little bit of money really helps. If you're wanting to get your hands on Time Crisis, man, it sure would be nice to knock off $100 or $200. So we do this. Also, I'll keep going back to Best Buy. If you have Best Buy rewards, so if you purchase a lot with Best Buy, you can redeem rewards, and that gets the cost of some of these big ticket items down. If you're stuck buying from Shop Hippo, they don't have a rewards program, and you can't reap any of those benefits. And so that is why when we hear $750, it's a really big sting, because it's not just the price, which is too much. It's not just that. It's the fact that you've got it at some obscure retailer that doesn't have gift cards. They don't have loyalty programs. And also some of your payment options are not available with Shop Hippo. For example, you can't do PayPal. Some people do PayPal. Some have a credit line through PayPal and other online services. So you really begin to restrict not only my ability to buy the thing, but also your ability to sell the thing. So I'm not sure. I don't understand why they seem to jump through hoops to cater to odd retailers, when at the end of the day, it's better for everybody if they just go ahead and jump through hoops for us. Before we move on to the next topic, we got a couple other things to discuss. A couple other things to sort of highlight over here in the chat. Let me scroll up and down. Let me see what's going on. Got to catch up with some things. Yes, so lots to discuss, lots going on. Really, paywalls are not good. Paywalls are bad, but some paywalls are absolutely acceptable. Not required, but it's appreciated. $9.99. This one comes to us. This super chat comes to me from the Galaga Guy 88. Thank you so much for $10 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to say hi to everyone. Know it may annoy some, but having a channel where people's voices are heard is something the community needs. Thank you again, Fox. That's why I do the poll questions, guys. I like to say hi to everybody because I know you're taking time out of your day to swing by and hang out with me, and I do appreciate it. So I know it may be annoying a little bit. I know it may eat up a lot of the show, but I think you guys are important. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I hope it's not annoying to you. I'm just trying to let you know I do absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. And you know what? Here, let's get together and let's kill the queen. Absolute destruction. There's nothing like killing an alien queen with friends. But there's other things too, like super chats. This one comes to us from Jason Little Alien 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, I got the same combination on my luggage. 1234. Thank you so much for your oddly specific super chat denomination. It's really great to see you here, and thank you so much for supporting the channel as always. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you go. Never going to run around and desert you. Never going to make you cry. Never going to say goodbye. Never going to tell a lie and hurt you. Perfect. Can't believe I just got rickrolled in real time. It's crazy. It's a first. It is a first. Never happened before. You know what's also never happened before? A super chat from this guy, Deadly Mayhem Mike. Thank you so much for swinging by the channel and supporting the channel, laying down some of that cold, hard cash you worked hard for. $10, man. I thank you so much. 2024 top 3 Arcade1up wishlist. Fox, my personal top 3 for me is Tron Deluxe with a better flight stick, Cruising USA /World Deluxe or XL, Cubert Deluxe. Cheers. That's pretty awesome, man. Oh, if you're asking me you got a really good list, because what you did there is by combining Cruising USA and World. I mean, that's 2 of the 3 games that could be on the cab. Throw in Exotica, and you have a hell of a driving cab. I mean, even though it's only 3 games, if they give us the actual ROMs, the arcade versions, not the Fast and Furious garbage we saw before, that would be a killer arcade cabinet to have those 3 games. That's pretty sick. Top 3? Well, it's got to be, I want an AVP cab with the Big Blue 2 design in an XL form factor. All my wants and desires would be XLs. And this isn't necessarily what I think they're going to make is what I want. So I want an AVP cab, Big Blue 2, XL size, and then throw a bunch of other Capcom games on there, CPS 2, CPS 3 even, don't really care. The other 2 would have to be a Star Wars trilogy, XL, obviously. And then, man, another 3rd. Wow, that'd be cool. I don't know. I got my beat 'em up. I got my it's not a yoke, it's a joystick game. What else would I have to get? Okay, my number 3. This is it. This is going to blow your mind. Nobody is going to even believe that what I'm about to say, but believe it or not, it's actually
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
just really think that would be probably the pinnacle, the deep cut that nobody would ever see coming. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Really do appreciate it. Moving right along, down the road we go. Where we stops, nobody knows. But one thing I do know, that this guy supports the channel with a $5.69 super chat. Insane in the membrane. Nah, he's just insane. Generally $5.69. Once again, oddly specific with the super chat denomination. I will not bat an eye. Do appreciate it, man. Arcade1up started to turn into EA LMAO, almost like a monarchy at this point. Speaking of monarchy, take me to the queen. But you know what? I'm not going to deny you an audience with the queen. But sometimes you got to really take it to the queen. You and me, we got to take the queen out. Killing her twice. Killing her softly? Nah, killing her hard. It's the way she needs to go down. It's the way she needs to die. Of course, if you played the game, you know that isn't the death scene of the queen. She comes back with a vengeance. Just like another super chat. This one comes to us from Rights Retro K 279. Once again, the Canadian denomination is a little bit spicy. You got to watch out. Arcade1up's main customer is the retailers. Unfortunately, sad to say, you just might be on something.
Let's go.
Wolverine wins. Rookie.
Sad to say that, yeah, we may not be the focus of Arcade1up, but you know what is my focus? You, the audience. And another super chat. This one comes to me from David G. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Really do appreciate it. I tried to put it on my phone, but sometimes it misfires what I meant to say. I understand. Thank you so much. Live long and prosper. Also a Trekkie, my damn self. Not as much as a Star Wars fan. I gotta be honest. Star Wars may be my first love. But I definitely have a deep, abiding respect for Star Trek. And also, I'm kind of afraid of this guy. He's got this crazy predator power where he's disappearing and you don't know where he's going to show up. It's like he's gone and then he just comes back. Like this guy, Keith. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you again. Great to see you. $10 super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. What are your plans for 2024? Constorm probably isn't planning to cover Deluxe Rehash anymore, regardless of features. I know where you're coming from, man. I know where you're coming from. My plans are, I think, XL or bust, with the exception of maybe some sporadic 3/4 that could really, if they step outside the box and do something radically different, I'll give them some coverage for sure. But I'm with you, man. Deluxe, it's definitely a good step, but with the introduction of XLs, I can't see how Deluxe really makes a ton of sense.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Ooh, very fatal. Acid baths. Not good for you. Not good for the complexion at all. Not good for your soul. Not good for your organs because they're also eaten up. The bones seem to do just fine. And yeah, so that's definitely disturbing. But you know what's not disturbing? You know what's great for your soul? You know what's great for your skin and organs, as well as your bones, your eyes, teeth, hair, and hats? I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it is a super chat. $30. Amazing. $30, man. Swinging big. Thank you so much. Unnecessary, but greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your $30 super chat. I really do appreciate it. Mark, 1915. Oddly specific year. Are you immortal? Were you born in 1915? Or maybe you're just really old. I have no idea. Thanks for your content, fellow Army guy. Huh? Good to see you, man. Watch you all the time. Big fan of all the things old school arcade. Would love if Arcade1up made a Raston Taito cab, any kind of Taito cab, focusing on some of those games. I would absolutely love. Keep up the great work. Maybe we'll meet next time you visit GG. Absolutely. Absolutely. When I come to Galloping Ghost again, which you know what's going to happen, I'm going to let everybody know this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going to be here. And the fan meetups are not dying. They're not dying down. They're not stopping. Me and those other goofballs are going to continue to get together and cause mayhem and trouble and wreak havoc everywhere we go. Thank you so much for your $30 super chat, man. It's really appreciated. It makes a big difference to me, man. I appreciate you. And fellow Army guy, I'm with you. And let me give you something a little bit special. You know what? This chick, she's a pistol. Moving on to something behind paywalls, besides paywalls, looking at Time Crisis, and the verdict is in. It looks like they actually went and gone and done it. They refiled. So there's a little bit to unpack here. I wanted to touch on this tonight, ever so briefly, but also to kind of put I think tonight we're going to put a bow on Time Crisis. They actually went back. Tastemakers refiled with the FCC. And here we go. 10/16 was the date of the latest filing. They passed all the tests with flying colors this time. And there you go. I mean, this is sort of the last shoe to drop. I was unsure that they would bring this into the country without filing. I didn't think that they could legally. They're already kind of towing this line because as part of their the dismissal request letter that they sent to the FCC, they said that they were not selling this cabinet anywhere in the world with that same FCC ID. Of course, they were. We had proof. Big Reese down under sent me something. Sent the sticker from his cab, the label from his cab, his Australian version, and it did include the FCC number, the FCC ID number. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tastemakers is issued an FCC ID. Well, that's the first five. It's the number 2. APXH that's just a sign from the FCC. But the last 3 can be whatever Arcade1up wants. So TMC didn't need to be there, but they retained the TMC. Now I don't know if this doesn't really denote a big change between the other model. I'm okay with this. I'm fine. But it is odd that they're going back with the exact same ID. But I guess at the end of the day, what are they going to do? Are they going to go back and they're going to reprint stickers and labels and put them on there? I doubt it. I don't think they would ever do that. And maybe it's a little bit too, it's not necessary, but it is something curious for sure. If you want to go back and you can look at the actual history, if you're unsure what I'm talking about, you can go and see their original filings back in, August, June, July, August. First, they had their first initial filings, and that's where you'll find the dismissal letter. Same thing if you go down to the exhibits, you can see 1, 2, that's the original filings, and then 3 and 4 are their most recent filings, 10, 16, this month, just a few days ago, really. So it is something they had to do. They did have to go back. They did have to refile. So the FCC verdict is in. The FCC case, for the most part, is closed. By refiling and using the same ID, now they've avoided any kind of issues they could have faced if they had to change or if they refiled using a different ID. That would have been probably a problem for them moving forward. So while it did pass, it passed its test. Time Crisis passed. And, well, just like Console Kits alluded to in the beginning of the show, the top of the show, I also passed. I've decided I'm not going to get the cabinet. And this is a letdown for me. I wanted this cabinet as soon as I heard about it, as soon as I heard about the games list. And I was present during Kong's R Us, his channel. He did a live unboxing. I was there looking at it without comparing it to anything else. I was pretty stoked about it. This is cool. This looks good. Then the guns started to kind of worry me, the jankiness of it. I thought, well, maybe if I can get this thing on some kind of a sale, maybe it'll come to Best Buy and I can use some of those gift cards I spoke about earlier, right? I get the price down. Then I can afford to maybe mod these guns or do something with these guns, come up with something clever to kind of get rid of that, maybe combine, maybe I could draw some power from the encoder board that's inside the gun, rob something off the send and light gun PCB inside the actual pistol itself, and then maybe use that to drive a motor or something. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I thought I could maybe try something. But then the final nail in the coffin came to me from Facebook, as often nails in coffins do, right? They come to us from Facebook. And this is what I saw. So the guys over at Buy Stuff Arcades posted this on their Facebook page. And to me, this was kind of it. This was kind of so. If you followed the channel for any length of time, I've got a T2 cabinet. So it's one of the few Arcade1up 3/4 I have left. It's over here in the corner. I've done several modifications. I actually really like the cabinet. I know there's some flaws. I know it's a single cabinet. I know it's a single game cabinet, but I still dig it. I still dig it. And it's on a 4-inch riser, and it's pretty much exactly where I want it. But unfortunately, it did need a 4-inch riser. But then when you look at this thing, when you look at the Time Crisis next to the T2, it's just too damn short, guys. I mean, if you just look at that, you're talking about like 6 inches shorter. And I just looking at it compared to that cabinet, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it, man. I think it does a ton of things right. I think the cabinet, away from anything else, looks good. But once you see it next to a T2, and this is not even on a riser. This is just T2 sitting on the ground, sitting on, well, I'm sorry, the T2's on a riser, but it's not on an additional 4-inch riser like I have here. I'm just not feeling it. And a lot of people have talked about the coin door being too low. It is too low. I think that if it was me, I think Arcade1up should have just left that kick panel, the eye panel, just that beige color, and then taken the coin door and moved it up as far as they could, because that does look a little weird. They don't need the graphic on the front anyway. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know why they keep mixing these things. Like somebody just needs to get away from the Photoshop in their design studio and quit. Like, you don't need to do this. Plain black on the eye panels, okay? Or if you want to keep with arcade accuracy, go with that beige color and keep the step on it sticker on the bottom, but don't do this. You can tell they moved the damn thing. Maybe they had to put it there structurally, and then they added the Time Crisis logo above it, but they didn't need to do that. It's not accurate. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I don't like it at all. It's just weird. It's just weird. I'm not digging it at all. It's just not, I don't know. It's just looking at it now, picturing that in my arcade, I'm just not feeling it. So maybe they'll make an XL version, maybe they'll do something about the guns. Maybe if the XL version is $699, I would feel better about paying that for an XL at least. This would be a pretty cool XL shooter. I think this probably has the best chance of any of the shooters to get made. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe for some reason they love Buck Hunter. Maybe we'd see a damn Buck Hunter again as a XL. But I think I would love to see this as an XL. I think it would have a real shot. If you go XL, go a little bit bigger, maybe we'd have a better chance at getting the proportions a little bit better. But to me, it just looks way too squatty. Like I said, I mean, T2, I had to raise up another 4 inches to get it where it needed to be so that I could enjoy playing it. It had to be, a little higher. This already starting off with like a 6-inch deficit. That's what she said. is not. It's just not good. It's not good. I don't like the fact. I don't like the idea of a deluxe on a riser. And that's one of the problems I've had with all the deluxes, with the exception of Fast and Furious. That was one of the things that cabinet did well. I didn't need a riser with that cabinet. I bought 2 of them, and the height was not an issue for me. I didn't need to get a riser for the Fast and Furious. So it's like they tried to mimic, and I'm not going to fault them for this. I think they should try to mimic the cabinet as best that they can with that big marquee, but it was at the detriment of the monitor placement. And I don't understand this. And so you're going to get a deluxe. The whole point of getting deluxe is there's no riser, but then you got to buy a riser. So it's a riserless cab that requires a riser. So are we actually technically, it's weird to think about this. Are we actually going back in time? Back whenever you bought the $299 version, and if you wanted to get it to a decent height, what did you have to do? Buy a riser. So now you got a deluxe cabinet, but to get it at a reasonable height, you got to buy a riser. So we're back where we started. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't get that. I mean, the point of the deluxe is to eliminate the need for a riser. But if you still need a riser, then you got to ask yourself one question: is that cabinet deluxe? So while the FCC passed the cabinet, unfortunately, 19K Fox is also going to pass the cabinet, at least on the opportunity to purchase it. Sorry. All right, it is what it is, but you know what? I'm just not getting what I want. I just, at least, Arcade1up is just not getting me what I want. But you know what is giving me what I want? It's another member of this live stream currently right now, and it's a super chat, $5. Thank you so much from Insane. Solid denomination this time. I like what you do there. I think Arcade1up could pull some people back in with something OTB. Perhaps Dance Dance Revolution, Super Shot, Jumpin' Jackpot. I don't know if they could make them budget friendly though. And that's the kicker. That's the kicker. Thank you so much for $5 Super Chat, brother. Really appreciate it. And what haven't I played yet? Something a little bit different because you deserve it, because you need it. Me and you, let's partake in shoot 'em up and maybe go blow something up. Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And you know what else I love? The opportunity for everybody in the community to get what they want. Because while it's great to get what I want, it's great when everybody gets what they want. And we always go back and forth, and Insane alluded to it in his super chat. It would be great if they did this. It would be great if they did that. But could they make it budget friendly? Well, what if they didn't have to make it budget friendly? What if they didn't have to? What if there was a way to kind of split hairs here and try to, or I'm sorry, not split hairs here, but maybe find a way to give everybody what they want at the price they want to pay. But how do you do that? Well, you can watch the 19K Fox channel. You can watch This Week every week, and you can see the poll question that I'm throwing up, and it could tell you more about what the community is actually asking for. It would be a small sample size, but it would be a sample nonetheless. Right now, if you jump up in the arcade, if you jump up on the poll question tonight, 166 votes, guys. We're about to get into the topic that pertains to this question. Would you be interested in a direct-to-consumer program from Arcade1up? Yes or no? What I'm talking about, and what's this pulse? What are you talking about? So what I'm talking about is Arcade1up proposing a product with some details at a certain price and saying, hey, if you want this, go ahead, jump in and back this, much like Kickstarter. Now, this sounds crazy. I know what you're thinking. This guy Fox is a wackadoo. Who's heard of such a thing? Well, there was a time where someone named Liv actually worked for Arcade, and they came from a company, small company, little bitty company. You may have heard of them, Hasbro. And she was involved in their direct-to-consumer initiative. In this case, it's called Hasbro Pulse. Checking the pulse of the community. It's a clever name. It's also a clever execution of said plan. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, and if you're not into Hasbro toys, because most of us are older, and we're not into toys. Well, at least not those toys, other toys. But if you're not into Hasbro toys, if you're not into the website, if you don't even know what Hasbro Pulse is, let me show you what it is. If you go to their website, you see this is HasbroPulse.com. Go there and you can see what I'm talking about. And it's kind of interesting. Now, you're going to find some weird stuff here. Currently, they have a giant addition to the Marvel Legends line. This is a giant action figure, stands 24 inches tall, and it's Giant Man. Makes some sense, right? But it seems a little bit niche. Giant Man, a 24-inch Giant Man, and it looks like this guy's got articulation. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Do you think it'll sell? I don't know. What's going on here? Well, this is one of their proposed products, and they have a render. This could even be a full-fledged figure that they're showing off here. And they're curious if people want to buy it. So what you do is you can back now. You can click on the button that says back now. You're not going to go back. You're going to go try to back this product, and you're going to go to the next page. And this takes you to the product page of the proposed item, whether it's an action figure or vehicle or whatever. And you can see right here, This is the price of this figure. $200. They need 10,000 backers. That tells you how many backers they have. So it's a lot like Kickstarter, right? You have one day, 5 hours, 24 minutes left. This screenshot was taken earlier today. So you got less than a day at this point to jump in and back this product. Please agree to the terms. You got to click on that. You got to go down the rabbit hole, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to take any more backers, not going to accept any more money after October 24th, because at that point, that's when it ends, and they'll decide if they're going to go ahead and move forward with the product. They need 10,000 backers. So this is where they take a render. In Arcade1up's case, they would take some kind of a render of something, put it up there, and they would tell you, this is what we're talking about. We're thinking about, we think you might want this. Here's a render. Here's the price. We need 10,000 people to back it, or we need 1,000 people to back it, or whatever. And this is how long you have to back it. Okay. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, very transparent. One of the things we talked about over on Gotham City Arcade's channel was transparency. Knowing what product's coming out and where it's going to be coming out. When. There's so much of trying to hunt and find Arcade1up stuff. It's never been so difficult to find something you want to purchase. Almost never. I mean, I'm sure there's other examples out there, but as far as, home arcade products, there's no company that makes it hard or more difficult to buy their stuff. I mean, even iArcade, it was easier to buy than some of these arcade cabinets when they first come out, especially when you're dealing with low quantity cabs. They're out and they're gone because I didn't know it was out. Where's it at? I don't know. You gotta be a member of Shop Costco Hippo Club, and I don't even know what that is, but I gotta pay, and before your membership comes in, it's gone. So this would be a way to kind of bring something directly, be on their website. Maybe you have a separate website. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm just, Arcade1up Plus may be too much of a rip on Hasbro, but you could do something like this. But you see how this is their execution. They have a proposed item. Here's a price. We need this many backers. This is how long we got to get this done. Here you go. But then you move on to other stuff. What's the other thing? Here we go to the next thing. Boom. Here's some of the detail. And this is right on this product page here. This is giving you exactly all the information you need, right? There's going to be a limit to 5 per customer. So you can't, if you get this, you can't buy, 10 of them and go on eBay and go crazy, but you can buy 5. So, whatever, I don't know why they did that, but this is where Arcade1up could place some of those limits. If you want to restrict the purchase, to prevent scalping, or maybe they wouldn't want to do that, but this is where you could you lay out. And so there's that, but then you also lay out everything, standard shipping and handling. So this is before the product is even built. They're laying everything out for you so that you understand clearly what's going on. They also reference their Hasbro Pulse Premium member. Maybe this is something else that Arcade1up could do. And I don't think it's wrong to just directly rip away or rip details or rip away a program from another retailer, another company. I mean, if it works for them, bring it on over. Who cares? A good idea is a good idea. It doesn't matter who comes with it, comes out with it. But the Plus Premium member would be like free shipping and early access and stuff like that. They could do that after they launch Arcade1up, whatever. Arcade1up Pulse, whatever. Arcade1up Coin Up, I don't know. Arcade1up Free Play. They could just go crazy with it. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to charge you money for any good idea I come up with because they happen so rarely. This crowd later on going down, it continues to tell you that this crowd-funded project will run from September 8th, 2023 to 11:59 p.m. Eastern on October 23rd, 2023, and require 10,000 backers. They're telling you exactly. Look at the transparency. They're telling you exactly what time it starts, exactly what time it finishes, how many backers they need to begin the production. This is just to get started. We hear all this stuff. Oh, nobody would buy that. Nobody would buy that. Well, here you go. It also says, if successful, the project will begin shipping around fall of 2024. So full transparency, letting you know, hey, these are all of our targets, our manufacturing processes. They're not going to allow us to, ship this before the fall of 2024. So you have a time frame, you have an idea. Here's the price. Here's if we reach this many backers, we'll start production. Here's when that process would wrap up. And then they continue with more details about the thing you would potentially be buying. This is a 24-inch tall giant man figure. designed, inspired by the character's appearance in Marvel comic books. And then look, it continues. Now, this is just an action figure. This is not an arcade cabinet. This is an action figure. Look at the details they're providing. Features 91 total points of articulation, including 29 points in each hand. So this is not just a static figure that stands there. It's $200, but you're getting a lot of articulation. Giant Man figure has intricate design and premium decor or deco. Premium deco? I don't even know what that means. Premium deco. Ultra articulated figure is fully posable for the ultimate shelf display. So if you're familiar with like their, what was that? The Galactus. They did a 2-foot tall Galactus. It was very posable. It could stand on one leg. It was great. It was really cool. And if you're into the Galactus, if you're into that figure, that character, it was a great buy. It's $200, sure. But the risk to Arcade1up, and in this case Hasbro, would be really minimal. Really minimal. I mean, they're laying it all out on the line. This is exactly what we need. We need this much money. So we need you to pay $200. We need 10,000 of you to pay $200. And then we can begin production on this figure. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And at that point, what you would have is Arcade1up saying, okay, here you go. And the kicker for me is this. Now, AVP is my personal, these are my 2 projects that I built, that I made. And t-shirts, stickers are available of these projects over on 19K Fox Teespring store. Check it out. I'm sure there's a link somewhere. But what kills me, especially with X-Men, let's focus on the 6-player X-Men for a minute. They made a 6-player version. They made a 6-player version with a 27-inch monitor, just like what you see in front of you. They made this prototype. Now, they built the prototype for whatever reason they built it for. I'm assuming to test it, to see that if they could pull it off with the space given, with the confines of, okay, we got to put it in a box. So how do we do that? How do we break this thing down? We have size restrictions. What would that look like, feel like? They built a prototype, and I'm sure it was rough. So if they look at it, now this was Gen 3, right? So you got to forgive this style, right? But go back to Gen 3, which is when this prototype was built. They built it. At some point, somebody would have to say, you know what? This might be a candidate for the Pulse program or for the direct-to-consumer program. Let's go ahead and spend a little extra money. Let's spend another couple $100. Let's slap some decals on this. Let's put some artwork on it, and let's put it out there and see what the fans think. I mean, this can't happen for every prototype they build. I get it. I understand. But if they think they've got something that works, and if they think that there's a demand for it, if they could put pencil to paper and figure out how many backers they would need, what this potential price point would be, and just put it out there and say, hey, listen, for early adopters of this, you get some exclusive stuff. You get a t-shirt, you get a plaque, whatever. And then what happens is you have enough backers and they like it, they dig it, they're into it. Now you can begin production of these things. And now you could have something that could eventually make its way to a Walmart, because they've sort of established themselves as, this is a product that people enjoy. People like it. We built it. They bought it. They enjoy it. And maybe that's as far as it goes, but it could work its way into others, maybe some niche retail markets. Maybe a Shop Hippo would pick it up, but it was born out of the Arcade1up direct-to-consumer initiative. But it could be something as kind of elaborate, and kind of expensive, like a 6-player X-Men. But it could also be something as like, basically, I mean, honestly, back in the day for Gen 3, a Alien versus Predator cabinet would have been just a simple PCB swap. I mean, they obviously got to put the artwork on there. And that's where you could really just take an existing cab you already have, that works, functionally it works. And you could just, in Photoshop, put different artwork on it and throw it up on your website and say, hey, do you want this? Hey, would you buy this? Maybe it's we've talked about this before on the show. Maybe it's a cabinet that's already out there, but you want a different skin. Let's say it's the Mortal Kombat 2, the Midway Deluxe cabinet. But you don't like Mortal Kombat 2, you like Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 3 or whatever. And you want that skin instead of the Mortal Kombat 2 skin. Well, maybe they go the safe route with retailers and MK2 is on there. And that's the skin you get. And you can buy that in store. But you can go to direct consumer and you can get a MK1 version or an MK3 version. And maybe it's a little more expensive, but maybe there's some kind of exclusivity to it. You get a sticker, plaque, limited edition, something, whatever, But give us the option. Not everybody's going to buy it, but some people would pay a little more if they like your products already, but they want a different skin. They would pay for that. If you're not sure what people would buy and you don't know how to gather that information, why not do this? Especially if you've already made a prototype of the cabinet. And what's the worst case scenario? You built it. Let's say you built the cabinet. Let's say, I don't know, Double Dragon. You built it. You skinned it. It was ready to go, and you had it out on display. Now, as long as you've got everything locked up with the license, put it on your website. See what happens. See what happens. Work a contract out with whoever you need to work a contract out with for the license to say, listen, we're going to propose this idea to our fans. And, if it goes through, this percentage of each sale will go back to you, and we'll get this percentage over here, and everybody will make a little bit of money, and we'll be happy, and the fans will be happy. Now, this doesn't have to happen with every single cab. Some of your home runs are just going to go through the normal channels. Your legacy cabs are going to go on through. Some of the things that Walmart would buy, Best Buy will buy, Amazon will buy. You'll go with those. That's fine. Some of them are just easy, at bats, easy base hits. But maybe maybe you're not so sure about this one. You're on the fringe. This would be a way to get it out there. And maybe you just, satisfy the diehards, like the Giant Man fans out there. The Giant Man fans who have to have a figure for $200. And you laugh at that, but there's almost 7,500 backers of this. 7,500 people are willing to pay $200 for a Giant Man figure because probably A, they are a big fan of the character, and maybe B, they're a big fan of Hasbro and HasLabs and the other, figures they've made in the series, and they know that there's quality there. So they're willing to do this. They're willing to back this. They want to maybe complete their collection. Maybe they want to have a bunch of 24-inch figures that are fully articulated, and they know they can only go through HasLabs to get that. Maybe if you want something a little bit different in your arcade, maybe something radically different, maybe something really weird. And if Arcade1up can get enough backers to make it, they'll do it. And some of these will absolutely fail. Some of these projects just aren't going to win. AVP may not have enough backers. And then unfortunately, it wouldn't work out, and that would be fine because at least I saw them make an effort. Hey, listen, we tried to put it out there, Fox, and nobody bought the damn thing but you. You bought 5 of them, but that was it. Well, it is what it is. So I think that, listen, it's a shame that Liv is no longer with the company. She came from Hasbro Pulse. We were excited about the potential of what she could have brought to the table. And the fact that she parted ways with the company is sad because I think there's a big opportunity there that they could have taken advantage of that unfortunately they didn't maybe capitalize on. But it's never too late to capitalize on a really good idea. And I think that, with everything going on with Arcade1up, if they're struggling to find the next cab that everybody wants, if they're trying to figure out the form factor that everybody's into, poll questions are great. You gathering as much feedback as possible, but sometimes you got to put your money where your mouth is, and you got to actually build the cab, and then allow your fans and your customers to put their money where their mouth is. Oh, would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
That time to go ahead and wrap it up, but there are a few things we got to get to, a couple questions that we just got to answer. We can't let it go. We can't let it slip by. We're gonna pay some attention to that poll question in just a second. Everybody, real quick, 185 votes. Can I get 15 more, guys? Can I get 15 more? Simple question tonight. You don't need to think too hard about this. I just talked about it. Hasbro Pulse is one example. Would you be interested in a direct-to-consumer program from Arcade1up where they come out with something goofy? It's kind of fringe, it's kind of weird, it's kind of crazy, but they give you an opportunity to back it. If nothing else, a way to kind of gauge your interest for this weird thing that you're talking about. Anyway, jump up there. I'll give you a few more minutes to kind of think about that and vote on that. I really hope you would actually do that. Vote in that and let me know what you think. Because listen, maybe I'm just off base. Maybe I'm just out here on the fringe, the radical fringe of American FM. No, the radical fringe of Arcade1up, home arcades. But maybe, I think, just maybe, I'm not. I think a lot of you are feeling this, you know. If nothing else, you've got an opinion. Thumbs up or thumbs down. But you know what is a great thumbs up for me? Well, always gives a thumbs up. From 19K Fox, and that is a super chat. Another one, swinging heavy, writes Retro K 279. Thank you so much for your Canadian super chat. Everything is better as an XL, even the Sasquatch. Thank you so much for your 279 Canadian super chat. Like you say, everything's better, including the Sasquatch.
All right, Justin, shirts versus skins. Let's go.
Ask and you shall receive. Thank you so much for super chat and continuing to support this channel, much like David G. Again, coming in, swinging big, $10. Thank you so much again for your super chat, David G. I really do appreciate it, man. Okay, serious question, Fox. Everybody, stop. You quit goofing around. This is serious. Serious question, Fox. I know you're not an at-games guy, but do you know if the at-games 4K pinball will run coin ops? No one seems to have a straight answer. I will say this. I do not know. I do not know at this time. But what I have heard is that it will not. I know you're not going to be able to just re-download the pinball tables you already purchased on your standard definition or your standard ALP. So I don't know that it will. It may require a different build to run, but I tend to think that it's not. I tend to think that the 4KP is going to be a unique experience with that games. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I think it may. I sort of lean towards that's going to be a good thing because it needs to be tailor-made for that board, for that experience. Remember, not all arcade consoles were backwards compatible. I tend to think at games is not going to be backwards compatible. I think this is probably more than just a spec bump. This isn't like a PlayStation Slim type thing. This is almost really a new product. It really is. And I think we need to consider that as two separate products. I think they really are different. And so because of that, this is more like a PS4 to PS5 where they're very similar architecture, but you are talking about a different experience completely. But I think that before I, continue to talk out of my ass, because I don't 100% know, and I'm being honest with you, I don't know. One guy that has a little more insight is P-Dubs, Arcade Loft. And he's talking about somebody else that has a little more insight, and that's Wagner. Said in his videos, you will be able to, but via the general downloader thing that's coming out. So not out yet, but it is a pathway. So looks like I'm wrong. But in my defense, and to your point, even in your super chat, which I will highlight again. There you go. Listen, don't fault me, but I'm not a at games guy.
Thank you.
That is good to hear, though. That is good to hear that we're actually going to have the ability to do that, even though it might be a little clunky. And David, maybe they'll smooth that out as the machine comes out. And, like anything else, firmware updates are always great. It's a great thing about having a connected device, and nothing's more connected than Bob and me and our mind and our super chats. This one, another one, $5. Bob, thank you so much for your super chat. I need reviews before spending this kind of money. I may enjoy these things, but I can't trust each cab will be quality. Damn it, Bob. Are you trying to get me to buy a Time Crisis? Can I do it? Will I do it? Can it be done? Tell you what, if Michael B can make this dunk, I'll buy the cabinet.
All right, come on, Mike. You can do this. You got this. You got this. Oh! He's down. He's down. He did it. He did it.
He did it. So does that mean I'm going to buy the cabinet? I don't know. I don't know. No, sorry. I think I'm going to pass. But I think that you're right. I think we do need good independent reviews. And that's where a guy like me is torn. Maybe I should get it, review it, and then sell it almost immediately. And it wasn't my plan for Fast and Furious. It wasn't. I bought 2 cabs intending to keep them. But unfortunately, they just didn't work out, guys. And it's a damn shame. And then with XL kind of being the form factor I'm digging right now, I tend to gravitate towards that. I will say this. I'm not going to completely 100% cut off all 3/4 scale cabinets, the 17-inch models. I don't want to say that. I don't want to put myself in a box. I don't want to put this channel in a box. If they come up with something funky, I'm going to give it a shot. Whether I keep it long-term or not, I don't really know. But when they come out with something funky, and Time Crisis is kind of funky, but if they come out with something funky, I'm going to have to give it a shot. I'm going to leave that door open no matter what. But for the most part, I'm only going to seriously consider buying XL cabinets moving forward. And just sort of the natural progression of the fandom for me and the channel and all that. 2 more votes, guys. Can I get 2 more votes in the poll? Here's the poll question again. Would you be interested in a direct-to-consumer program from Arcade1up? Some kind of something where they propose a product and then you get a chance to buy it. 198 votes. I think that's pretty good. Let's go. 199. Can I get 1 more? Let me know what you think. It's a yes or no question, guys. I need to know. Arcade1up, if they're watching, which I'm sure they're not because they're in their ivory tower somewhere. But if they are, they will benefit from this information. Awesome. You did it. 200 votes, 202 votes. You came through. Thank you so much for voting. Let's go ahead and end the poll right now. So it was a yes or no question. Pretty simple. No elaborate delays here. What won? What was the number one? Who won out? The yeses or the nos? And coming in first place, 67% of you say, yes, give us what we want. A not insignificant 32%, almost a full third, said no, Arcade1up will screw it up. So I think that Arcade1up needs to continue to develop their relationship with their customers, and you're going to do that in a couple different ways. You can provide things like the direct-to-consumer experience, but you can also start right now, and you can reinvest in quality, a little bit more quality in your products. A little more R&D goes a long way to maybe not immediate success, but long-term success for your company and for, the fandom in general, right? So I think that if you continue to invest in your products now, build them out, invest in the quality, especially if you're trying to justify that big price tag, it starts with you. It starts with quality. It starts with R&D. It starts with the commitment to your core customer. Your retailers, I'm sure I know there you have to have those relationships, and that's fine. But if you're going to skew this way or that, you got to skew. Don't screw. You got to skew towards the customer. Don't screw the customer. I'll end on that. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by and checking out the channel. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Don't work too hard. I'll see you all right back here next Sunday. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's how we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, everybody. And I will see all of you where, here, when, next time. Peace.